In the workbook we have some project inspiration pages, and they really should be used in such a way as to just open up ideas before moving on to a project. It's a great place to organize. So on page 24 we have self-expression, and this is just a worksheet again to generate ideas. Many projects are based on expressing our own thoughts and feelings in a visual way. List some things here that people know about you. So your talents, skills, personality traits, awards, hobbies, likes, and dislikes. List things that most people don't know about you, and then that can be filled in here. List things people think about you that are not true. So these might be stereotypes or different kinds of things. So that can be listed here. Do you have a secret about yourself that nobody knows? It's okay to write about this in code if it's embarrassing, or write some keywords about it that only you understand. I always make sure that when students share personally, that they have a way to encode their information so that they don't have to let everybody know their private business. So this can lead into lots of different kinds of projects, whether it's sculptural, drawing, painting, or even clay. When you have an idea that's what we know, what people don't know, that can lead us to a mask kind of project. Or maybe an inside-outside kind of project where you have a box and you decorate the inside the way you know yourself to be and the outside the way other people assume about you. So there are lots of ways that this information can be used and then turned into a project. And then we have some sketch pages over here for students to kind of work out some ideas, share, critique, and then move on to the actual final thing. Here's another one on goals. What are some life goals that you have, things that you hope to achieve in the future? By the time I graduate high school, I hope I have. In 10 years, I hope. In 20 to 30 years, I hope. And before I die, I hope that I have blank. Then list some things that can hold you back from reaching your goals. So I've got 6 spaces. Students don't need to use all of those, but it can be the beginnings of a conversation. I've done this where students have created a sculpture, and the top of the sculpture is the goal, and then the base of the sculpture is something that could hold them back from the goal. This could also be an illustration of a journey, showing the goal at the end and then the obstacles in between. And you could actually add some literacy to this by having students write the story out. Again, we have a sketch page available. So these build up our ideas, and then we can start to execute them in any media that we have available or want our students to explore. Story of my life. First times. So I have a list of some first experiences that students may have, from first time to drive, first hunting trip, winning an award, first time you caught your parents lying, first time you went to a funeral, birth of a new family member, first new job or interview, first time you were fired, being betrayed, the first paycheck you ever got, first travel outside the United States, a time you had to move, a time you saved someone's life or someone saved yours, a time you were tempted to do something wrong. Then write about your 4 or 5 life-changing events. And then I have a suggestion here, don't judge a book by its cover, where we can do altered books, where you can divide the book into 5 or 7 sections, and each section could be a different story from their life, the way that you would illustrate it. You could also do this as a sculpture, where you're collecting or creating 5 different objects that represent a student's journey through their life. I've even done this as a still life, where students had to get 5 objects that represented major events in their life, create a composition of those objects, photograph it, and then that became a watercolor still life exploration. So again, whatever you decide you want your students to do, they can sketch over here and then move forward with their idea. Another one, as a final example, are 9 important things. So this can be very simple to do emojis or symbols for the 9 most important things to you. They can be real things like a dog or a person, or feelings like love or freedom. What are 9 things you do not want to live without? Write each one in a box below and draw a symbol for each. If nature was important to you, you could draw a leaf. So I have students do 9 things, and then we break it down into 4. And this is a very common project I've done with my students year after year, where they trace their hand, they put an object in their hand that is one of these things over here. We overlap it, and then we do a color exploration where we use our primary, secondary colors, and then tints and shades. So here's an example of one that a student had done. So the symbols are in the hands, and then they got their blending and color theory lesson incorporated into this. But this could lead to a sculpture project. It could lead to a ceramic project. If they had their 9 things, they could create a little ceramic award for the thing that they wish that they could be the best at. They could do a sculpture project that incorporates these symbols. So it's a great way to generate ideas that then can be incorporated into an actual project.